What is your menu choice for today?
Round 1, fight!
Welcome, everyone, to SHOREVIEWKEN, and strap yourselves in for the best Street Fighter game ever made. And that might sound like hyperbole, but please allow me to make my case as we take a look at the ins and outs of Street Fighter Real Battle on Film, aka Street Fighter the Movie. And no, we're not talking about the 1995 arcade game developed by Incredible Technologies, even though I also think that game is actually pretty good, a lot better than you might expect anyways. No, we're taking a look at the PS1 version, which was both developed and published by Capcom. So if they don't know how to make a proper Street Fighter game, then I guess no one does. So if you've never played this version before, thinking it was obviously a crappy game based on a crappy movie, or if you have played it and just didn't realize the glory you were witness to, then allow me to educate you. And if you don't like that, you know what you can do.
Quick! Change the channel!
While the arcade game went a radically different route from traditional Street Fighter II with a more over-the-top and combo-oriented gameplay style, with the home version, Capcom basically decided to just take all of those digitized characters and put them into a game of Super Street Fighter II Turbo, minus the turbo. It's the exact same control scheme, at least. You could argue that it's a little more stiff than Street Fighter II, but I chalk that up to the usage of digitized actors more than anything. I imagine programming a fighting game is a bit more difficult when you can't actually animate the character's moves.
You win! Next fight! Ken versus Saga.
But I repeat, this is a solid playing Street Fighter game. It just looks a little bit goofy because as they used the actors from the film, and most of them were not trained in martial arts, their execution of the moves are pretty awkward looking, especially Wes Studi, who played Sagat. He was pretty old at the time and again had no martial arts training, but especially Kylie Minogue, who takes on a fighting stance that makes her look like she's driving an invisible car for some reason. So yeah, minor shortcomings aside, this is a decent playing Street Fighter game, and in addition to the standard arcade, versus, and training modes, you also get Movie Battle, which is a story mode that has you playing as Guile and gives you multiple forks in the road, which, depending on the choices you make, you will be fighting a different opponent in the next stage. It's not much, not even necessary really, but it's a nice little bonus on top of what again is essentially Super Street Fighter II Turbo, featuring a bunch of Hollywood actors.
You win!
So if it's just a goofy looking version of a better playing game, why on earth would I make the claim that this is the best Street Fighter game ever? Well, for one, to be a contrarian, but also because there's so much charm to this game that can't be found in any other game in the series. I mean, just look at this cast of characters. For starters, Jean-Claude Van Damme, at the height of his exploits with a certain white powdery substance, which has me believing he really was doing backflips on set. And again, we've got Kylie Minogue driving an invisible car, Wes Studi breaking his hip, Andrew Brynarski, the future Leatherface himself, doing spinning pile drivers as Zangief, and best of all, this home port alone features the one and only Miguel Núñez Jr. in the role of DJ. That's right, the star of such films as Carnosaur 2, Return of the Living Dead, Friday the 13th Part 5, and the undeniable classic that is Juwanna Mann, now under your control as an evil Jamaican terrorist slash personal assistant to Raul Julia, which, if you ask me, is pretty damn cool. So the sheer oddity that this game is what gives it a lot of its appeal. True, the graphics aren't great. You could even argue that they kinda suck, and that'd be fair, but you simply cannot argue with this soundtrack. This game honestly features some of my favorite songs from any Street Fighter game, in particular the stage themes for Guile, Balrog, Chun-Li, Blanca, Vega. They're all really good and go a long way to increasing my enjoyment of this game. So if you're a Street Fighter fan, or more specifically a Street Fighter 2 fan, but you've always thought the game was missing something in the way of goofy, uncoordinated Hollywood actors awkwardly performing martial arts moves, then this is really your only option. Also, if you're a big Juwanna Mann fan. It's Street Fighter Real Battle on film, and it's awesome.
Lieutenant, make a note. I need a vacation.
Yes, sir.